progress go? Hey, why am I underneath all the emails, calls, paperwork, and stuff? More stuff. Is there an end to this? I'm a prisoner of my own machine.
Sound familiar? Well, it's time to get out of all that stuff and get your life back with the VIP Coach. No hype allowed. Hosted by Executive Performance Coach John Davidson and HighLevelPerformance.com. Here's your host, JD.
The VIP Coach. I was not born a singer. I was born a coach. An industry that has come about as a result of the microchip, folks. Yeah, coaching came about because people wanted more. You know, they were hearing direction from their advisors, their CPA, their resources, and they realized that it wasn't just about their finances. It wasn't just about their planning, their financial planning. It was more about their lives. And Thomas Leonard, one of the originators of coaching, was originally a CPA and built a whole coaching entourage around a market that was dramatically changing, asking for these things. And today I can say that there are over 40,000 coaches nationwide, and I'm very proud to be among them. So we bring together a very, very powerful coaching experience. We bring to our clients a tour de force that includes an ensemble of 8 particular areas in their business. And these areas are what I call the black belt of business building. You want to be a business ninja? You get certified in these areas. So we provide a chassis, a foundation. Think of it like the fuel in a car. We provide an academic curriculum, in a sense, a set of focusing strategies and power tactics that all lead to 5 deliverables, freeing you up, getting all the stuff out of your life that is non-essential, and getting you focused on things that elicit your strengths and move you towards your interests. We get you back focused on all the activities and relationships that have not been getting attention, and we get you back to those activities that increase your earning power. Number 3 is we get you focused on free time outside work, so that the free time that you take is how you achieve results, not what you achieve results for. And we also help you get back the meaning and the purpose in what you're doing, so you feel like you're on purpose, in your right livelihood, doing the things that you're meant to do, supposed to do, you're on track. You feel that peace of mind that you are doing everything that by the end of your life, looking back, you would be proud of doing at this time. We also help you build up the market value in your business so that you have something to show for it. Instead of having a job, you own a business. So that's essentially what we do. We have a VIP coach program. That is the model that I have worked on and developed. It's the science of what I do over the last 10 years. We've had over 350 people go through the program. Some of them have doubled and tripled their incomes. Some of them have dramatically changed their careers. Some of them made a giant jump in their career. It's all about them quarterbacking this, though. They got to be the performer, and the responsibility rests on them to go out and throw the ball while the coach critiques and instructs and takes on that role. So I'd like to talk to you today about an area of your business that could be really, really hurting you. And you might think that it's inevitable, but this is simply it. Flying by the seat of your pants, winging it. Part of the reason that small businesses fail, actually to a great degree, is they wing it. They are doing fire, ready, aim instead of aim, ready, fire. And that's typically how it works. You know why? Because in a linchpin to every single detail that is climbing up and climbing up and climbing up is a new transaction. As you go out there and get all these new business opportunities, there's a little linchpin of new details that are attached to it, and it grows on you. And it's like a preventative wall, like a giant obstacle or a ceiling that you can't get past. And this problem, this ceiling of limit and this plateau of progress is the number one challenge, the number one problem for all successful entrepreneurs. You will have to deal with it, or you're about to deal with it. But your ability to beat this and to have a life, to have a business that serves your life rather than consume it is the trick. Because I know it's about freedom. It's not about money. But despite all that, you're winging it. You're flying by the seat of your pants, running from one challenge to the next, and you're probably problem-centric. All the fires that are coming up in the business, you're paying attention to. The same day seems to happen the same day after. And the same day seems to happen the same day after. And just when you'd like to get some traction, 6 months from now, you've got the basic same projects and goals that you've been working on. And really the thought of taking on anything else, any new opportunities or new projects, anything new is like your biggest threat. There's no way you could get anything squeezed in that's new. It's like trying to stuff more jelly beans in the bag. You can't do it. It's bursting from all sides. How long can you afford to go this way? When is it going to change? Where is it going to change? Is it going to change because you decide to, or are you just kind of waiting until your business kind of whispers in your ear, hey, John, I've got all this reserve set up for you. You've gotten your badge here. You've gotten your wings. Guess what? Now your dream is here. Now you got all this time, and I've got it available for you, and I've been thinking about you, JD. Your business isn't thinking about giving it to you. Your business doesn't think about that. Your business is designed to suck you up 24/7 if you want it to. Let's face it. Does your work ever stop? No. You always have stuff to do. Always. There's always something you can do. If it's not about the customer, it's about something you can upgrade. If it's not about something you can upgrade, it's about something you can fix. If it's not something you can fix, it's something you can prepare for. If it's not something you can prepare for, it's a new potential market, a new potential customer. See, it's kind of cool because you all the time have something to do. But the downside of that is that can be true, is you could be doing that all the time. And even while you're not in your business, you're doing it all the time. 24/7, this business is consuming your life. Now, more often, I run past entrepreneurs that are in this position. They've run into this state of things. They've tried to solve it. They can't seem to solve it, and they give up. And so they live within this sort of space where, it's like, don't push up against this too hard. It's just inevitable. It's just this way, and then they settle. And then 20 years later, it's pretty much the same, yet they've convinced everybody around them how incredible it is to own their own business, to be self-employed, to be their own boss, despite the fact that they're working all the long hours and they feel strangled by all of this. They're not oxygenated by all these other things they want to do, so there's this giant neglect. Like there's a neglect sign over every door. The relationship, neglect. Personal finance, neglect. Don't even think about it, can't even plan it, can't even think about it, no time, neglect. Children, neglect. It's that kind of regret that I don't want to see you end up like a business owner. So if you continue to wing it and you fly by the seat of your pants, what's your prognosis for change? Zero. It ain't going to happen. It starts when you decide. When you decide to pull it all together and you decide to change it. Where does it begin? It begins by you seeing that slow is the new fast. You got to slow down to speed up. There's a tactician and there's a strategist. The tactician is constantly running from one thing to the next, trying to get everything done. You feel productive. It's a great illusion because you think you're occupied in so many things, your to-do list just drives what you're doing. But the strategist is over there peeking in, and he's saying, are you doing anything that's really productive? You're just doing a bunch of things. You're doing stuff. Stuff is stupid things you fire first. That's stuff. But the tactician says, I just got to keep going. I just got to keep doing and doing and doing and doing so that I give myself the semblance that I am being productive. And the strategist is going, but is it going in any upward mobility? Does it have any line upward? Is it moving toward point B? You see, the strategist always wins, folks. And the reason I know this is because the strategist knows that he's got to take 2 steps back to go 3 steps forward. Picture a slingshot. The more I pull back that object, the more propulsion and power I have to work with. But in business, we don't rehearse in our business. We don't practice in our business. We don't work on our business. We do that in athletics. We work on our game. We go to the batting cages in athletics, right? We work with a tennis instructor in athletics, right? Yeah, we work on our voice before we sing for the performance and entertainment. We practice. We do rehearsals. But in business, we don't do rehearsals. We just play, and we don't learn. And if we don't learn and optimize, guess what? We become obsolete or we get exhausted. And when you run out of steam and you lose your enthusiasm, guess what? It's time. Hang up the coat. It's over. Game over, man. This business requires more enthusiasm from you than you even imagine. But you're killing it because the tactician runs out. He doesn't have all that steam to just keep doing and doing and doing and doing and doing. You know why? Because you keep doing what you've always been doing. And if you're too busy being busy to do something that would make you less busy, I think you're starting to see the paradox. So are you going to be the strategist or are you going to be the tactician? Because in your business, the entrepreneur, the true nature of the entrepreneur, the person who takes delivery of the dream is the strategist. Let's face it, you really want to be a consultant to your business to be successful, but you can't get in the position of being a consultant because you're too busy doing it. You're too busy acting on it, executing. So you're stuck in this continuous spin that's almost like spinning out of control. I know it feels like that sometimes, guys. It feels like, oh my gosh, if I could just get a handle on this thing. You got to start somewhere. It has to start. I know it's a big body of work, but you have to start somewhere. So let's get a starting point. Let's go from winging it, flying by the seat of your pants, to structure, actually being able to forward it so that the teeth sink in, so that the cleats sink into the grass, so you get traction. And it starts by how you look at things. What are your priorities? Do you prioritize rehearsal? Do you prioritize practice? That's the bottom line. Do you prioritize practice? Would you be willing to take 1 hour a week, one hour a week, to become a ninja at what your business does? Would you be willing to do that? One hour a week. That's what I'm asking of you. Would you be able to commit 1 hour a week to processes, policies, procedures? Because you know what? Your business is a composition. It is a tapestry, an ensemble of a bunch of systems. And when I talk about a system is a series of steps that lead to a predictable result. Every single process, activity in your business is either suboptimal or it is optimal. You have a system. It's just either suboptimizing or it's optimizing. You have a lead generation system. It's just either suboptimizing or it's optimizing. If it's suboptimizing, it's not capable of achieving the same result every single time. It doesn't have statistics that you can count on and live by. Because that's your security, is you live and die by the statistics, right? There's no paycheck in your world. There's only one thing that comes in your world. Those are the bills. But you don't get a paycheck. That doesn't come into you. You create your own security. And how you create that security is by going to a market and creating value, and you get paid for it. That's how you live. You live in an eat-what-you-kill economy. So let's face it. We can't wing it in an eat-what-you-kill economy. I mean, do you think if the tiger's hunting for his babies, do you think he's going to go out there and say, I'm sorry, I didn't get the food because I winged it? I'm sorry, I flew by the seat of my pants on tanking down that wildebeest, so I guess I came up short. No, he's going to see everything as practice. He's going to optimize everything in his business, in what he does. Okay, so you get the point here. Are you willing to make a fundamental decision? The way you actually approach your business, are you willing to do rehearsals? 1 hour a week. Now, where are we going to start? Well, here's where I would start. Is let's make a list of all the activities that you do. I'm going to ask you to spend a week. If you were in our coaching program, I would make you miserable for a week auditing your time every 15 minutes. If you've ever budgeted in your home, you start with knowing where your money's going, which most people don't. You probably don't even know how you're spending your dollars and how much you're spending on certain activities and categories. So think of it like that. How are you spending your time? Just like spending your money. Track where you're spending your time every 15 minutes. I want you to write this down. Who you're spending your time with and what activity you're doing. Where are you? Who are you with? And what are you doing? Every 15 minutes. Only for a week. That's 168 hours that we're going to track. We're going to extract 1 week as a mirror into how you carry out your time. Okay? This is the first hour. This is the first hour commitment, is you're going to do some research. Is you're going to spend a whole week, and then you're going to spend the hour in the next week looking at this list. And then I'm going to ask you to grade the list. I'm going to ask you to grade it based on your competency levels. There's probably activities that you do that you really are poor at doing. I'm going to bet that there are activities that you do that really drain you, that you don't like doing, that suck the life out of you. I call them tolerations. They're things that you're putting up with. These are things that instead of it taking an hour, they take 3 hours for you. These are things that you push back in the day and procrastinate on because you can't stand doing. You suck at these things. You just simply don't like doing them. This is not your thing. It is not what you're made for. It's not your wiring. This is goodbye. I mean, if in the perfect world, you'd rather not be doing them. I want you to grade those first because those are going to be the ones that we're going to begin optimizing. Those are the things we're going to turn into a system so that other people can handle them for you, so you redirect that energy for the rest of the stuff you got to do. See, we're freeing up enthusiasm. That's money. Enthusiasm equals money. It includes endurance. So we're going to free you up. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to take a break. We're going to continue talking about this process and how to go from winging it to developing a powerful business set of systems that you'll be able to get you get the monkey off your back, and you'll be able to build your business. I'll be right back. I can't wait.
Congratulations! You've become a success in the business world. You've set goals, and you've surpassed them. But now you ask yourself,
how can I muster the ambition and time to continue encouraging growth and still have time to enjoy life? Where did the excitement and ambition I once had go?
That's where we come in. High-level performance. Executive coaches that, simply put, in 3 years could help you triple your income, triple your fun, and triple your free time. Find out more at highlevelperformance.com. That's highlevelperformance.com. highlevelperformance.com.
After a long, hard day with the global war on terrorism, open a tall, cool Kyle Warren show. Ah, that crisp, refreshing taste, that smooth style, that effervescing attitude, and without all that other stuff that can, well, bog you down. Helping to put back what the daily media assault takes away, The Kyle Warren Show, each weekday on Talk2K.com. That's The Kyle Warren Show on Talk2K.com.
bogged down with all this stuff? Things gotten tough with all the success? Get ready for freedom with the VIP Coach. You're listening to No Hype Allowed with Executive Coach John Davidson.
And we're back. JD here. Yeah, you see, we do this audit of your time here, and I find so often that we find things we didn't realize we were doing. It was like we're driving our car out of alignment, and we've compensated for it, right? And it just becomes so normalized. We become accustomed to doing things because we do them unconsciously. Those are your habits. You just fall right into, well, this is what I do. You know, kind of my role description here as a business owner has become sort of a $10 an hour employee, but I don't really look at that stuff. But I just do it anyway because it needs to be done. Yeah, the I need to get it done thing is what hurts. That's what makes you wing it, is you don't really think about it. Oh, I just need to get it done. Oh, get it done, get it out of the way. Get it done. Yeah, well, wait a minute. One thing is about getting it done. The other thing is about suffering for a lifetime getting it done. All right, so you get the point. So now you got this list of activities. You've probed this every 15 minutes for a week, and now we're grading it. And then you're going to take the next grade area and look at everything that you're par at. You're going to look at everything that you're average at. So consider things that you are average with. I'm not talking about your golf game. I'm talking about professional activities. You're going to be looking at where you were, who you were with, the activity involved, what you were doing, and you're going to be saying, okay, what am I average at? And go ahead and label those. And then you look at everything else that you are excellent at. And these are things that you are pretty brilliant at doing, but there's one thing that's missing. There's no enthusiasm. In fact, there's no enthusiasm in all three. But I'm going to guess there's probably a set of activities that you do, and there's very few, maybe 3, that you do extraordinarily. In fact, you love doing them. And if you did them all day long, you'd get energy. It wouldn't take it away. Just think about that for a moment. There's probably things that you do. Maybe it's generating business. Maybe it's creating solutions for your customers. And maybe there's 3 or 4 habits that you do that you're most effective doing. And you just do this so naturally. It always seems to work. In fact, behind most of your successes is this very thing. It seemed like it was the thing that made it all come together. It was the one thing that people respected you for. It's the adhesiveness to you. It's this killer skill that you have that you were born with. It's this one thing that you do. And I find that most business owners are so trapped beneath the stuff that the voice of this has been hushed. It's just been hidden. It's gone. It's put away. It's locked up. It's incarcerated in the stuff. It's gone. You can't find it. And it's way deep down, as if it was this giant pond that was 20 feet deep, and you have to pail it all out. And finally, at the bottom, you come down to this unique talent or this really incredible ability. And our businesses are huge predators against it. And we jump into this environment, and it's this immediate counterdictive environment to creating our strengths and eliciting them. So now you've got this lay of the land. You see these activity sets here, and we have a clear picture of how effective you are at them and what you enjoy doing. But how do we transition it into getting it away from you? We need to fire you from everything that you're poor at, competent, and excellent. Let's get you fired. So let's create an action plan. Let's make a list of some improvement areas. What are some things that you could improve right now? You're either going to delegate that item, you're going to eliminate that item, or you're going to automate. DEA. You're going to either delegate, eliminate, or automate. So which one are you going to do? Are you going to delegate it, which means that you're going to hire another person to do it? You're going to find someone else who's already on your team and merge it and blend it into what they're doing? Maybe you're going to barter it, or you're going to trade it with somebody else, right? Or if you're going to stop doing it, hey, the cost of doing it is a lot greater than the benefit. So how about just stopping doing it? Just discontinue doing that. So you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just not going to do that anymore. That's not something I am going to do. I'm going to stop doing that. I can't stand doing that. I did that recently with a certain side of my coaching. There was a certain part of my coaching that I've just always had a quandary about, handling certain types of coaching encounters, and that is when someone else writes the check. If someone else writes the check for you to be coached, you're being forced into coaching, and I know what that's like. You're being in compliance with someone else, and someone else has got the control. And coaching is about a mutual collaboration. It's about two people being engaged in something together, working on one person's interests. But if you're being forced into this, so I discontinued setting it up that way because I continued to find failures in needing business like that. So I discontinued that side of the business. I don't delegate that. I don't want to pay attention to that kind of business. It drains me. I don't do it well. I don't really know how to do it. It's very awkward to me to be dealing with someone that doesn't want to be there. You know, I don't want to be there with I want to kill them. I don't want to be there with somebody that doesn't want to be there. So I discontinued doing that, and now it's freed me up to redirect that energy to a better place. Now I can redirect that energy to some other productive soul who wants my help and who wants the better result. So it made space for somebody else. I cleaned my closet, and I made space for something else. But how do we take it into a system? Let's say that we are going to delegate it or automate it. Well, let's start with the poor side, because the poor things are the things that are causing you to tolerate stuff. You're really getting drained by the poor stuff. So there's two areas that these activities are going to go into. One is an operations manual, insofar that you have a series of checklists or forms that others can use so that those systems can be operated. So let's take some of those activities. Let's say it was proofreading. Let's say that you wanted somebody to proofread for you. Or let's say it was handling filing. Or let's say that it's handling customer bottlenecks with a specific product. Or let's say it's handling scheduling. Or let's say it's handling emails. Or let's say it's handling confirming appointments. There's probably a specific way in which you do this, or a way that you want to do it. And if it were written and documented, you would have a best practice. You would have a specific beginning, and then an end, and then a middle. So ask yourself, if I were to do this process, how would it be done successfully? And then begin to write it down. Title it, and then begin to write down simply what it is. There's no magic to this. It's just simply getting you to do it so that it has a transferable quality to it. See, the minute the governance transfers from you to the person you're going to have do it for you is where it's documented. Is it a form? Is it a checklist? How do you make sure that that individual does those steps every single time? We'll talk about that. But the first step is to draw out your intellectual property. How exactly do you want it done so that it's done the same way every single time? And second, it needs to be deposited in a position description, some kind of role description. If that person is going to be hired to take on a series of activities, what are those duties and responsibilities? Now, you don't need to drill down all those steps in there because they can look at the operations manual if they want the detailed view. But the macro view is going to go into the description of position. Every single process, you should think about how it's going to be measured. How are you going to manage it? It needs to be quantified. How is it going to be measured? What indicator on your profit and loss statement is it linked to? How are you going to measure that? What is the result of it? What do you want to have accomplished? What's going to be the output? Those are performance objectives that the individual operating the system can be gauged by, so that performance feedback can be done. So here's what I've told you. You can migrate these items into a checklist, a set of working documents, a system, something that explains out the start and the finish and the middle. There's no real trick to this because the system you probably produce will be suboptimal anyway, but since you do have a system, it gives you a chance to compare with expected versus actual results. When you put it to work, when you start working the system, you begin to see whether it is producing a result that you want or you need to re-engineer the system. Until it becomes so optimal that no matter who does it, whether it was a monkey or a hot 180 IQ, the same result is going to happen. Again, it's not about being people-centric, it's system-centric, so that you hire great people that believe in what you do and can follow the system. See, that's the trick. That is from winging it to having a structure. The reason that small businesses fail is their lack of order. How can they call themselves a true organization when they're not organized? They haven't organized the playbook. That's like sending out a quarterback on the field and saying, go ahead and get the ball down the field. Let's score a touchdown. He's going to look at you and say, yeah, but boss, what play do you want me to make? We don't have any plays here. We just want you to go out and wing it. You decide in the huddle what you're going to do. That's what a business owner looks like on the playing field. Is that sloppy? Yes. You don't have your act together because you're too busy being busy to do something that would make you less busy. That's what you are. You're just too busy. And you're doing things that aren't productive. So are you going to keep doing what you're doing and expecting something different? That's crazy. That's like saying that the problems that you're going to solve from the level of thinking that solve them can be solved at the same level of thinking. They can't be. And it's like so right in front of you. It's like the water that you're swimming in that you almost don't even see it. So you've gotten into this spin of thinking that you are doing well. I'm not telling you you're stupid. I think you're doing a great job. I'm sure you're putting the best to this. But you could be doing better. See, there's leverage here. What if you fired yourself from the $10 an hour work? It has to start somewhere. Now, what about your support structure? You're probably saying to yourself, yeah, JD, that's great. I can get everything documented. I can have a gorgeous system. And, I can define some roles here. But you know what, dude? How do I do this? I don't have any people here. I mean, what am I going to do? I don't have the person to handle this. But you will. Here's what you can do. There are virtual assistants everywhere you look. They're inexpensive. You can give partial work to them. Maybe they can take the burden off of you. Or maybe you can hire an intern from a local college, and they can get some credit for working for you. Or maybe you can hire somebody part-time, and they can take the burden off of your back proportionately. But really think about this. If you didn't do those things, what would it free you up to do? See, do some math here. If you didn't spend those hours, how many hours are you spending on the poor items? If you didn't do those things, how much income could you make? And then how much income are you making? What's your hourly rate? If you're making $100,000 a year, do the math, right? You're probably making $8,000 a month. Divide that by 4. That'll tell you how much you're making a week. Divide that by the amount of hours that you're working. That'll give you an hourly rate. Think about how many hours you're having to spend on that right now. Think about the opportunity cost, folks. Think about if you could spend your time on the right opportunities, right? If you could work on the real opportunities, what would your hourly rate be then? So then that really gets thick. What's the opportunity cost? So really think about it. Be the strategist here. If you go a couple of steps back, if you bend down a foot lower, you can jump up a foot higher. I mean, really think about that, right? If you pull a slingshot back, it's going to go further because you pull it back. You got to spend money to make money. And one of the unfair advantages of being an entrepreneur who's really got his act together and has an unfair advantage, in other words, you're going to beat the competition, is you can design your support structure however you want. You can be the creator and the progenitor of how you want those systems to go down. No one said you had to do it this way. You're authenticating your system. And maybe your systems send a message about the way you do business to the people that operate them. Maybe it sends a message to your customer. Maybe the sales systems that you start to write down because you're delegating it to a mini-me. You have a person handling the front part of the sale or the back part of the sale or following up. Think about that consistent message that you're underscoring those systems designs with. What's your mission? What's your vision? What's your values? Do your systems that you're articulating, are the way that they are being produced, the way they're being crafted, are they being highlighted by that ideology so that you have a brand? Because the way your systems are carried out speaks a message to who's receiving it on the receiving end and the output. Now, the main thing I can tell you is this. The cost of not deciding on this is probably bigger than deciding to do it. But if you're like most people and you're the amateur person, you won't do it. You'll say that you're just too busy to do this. You'll have all the reasons in the world not to do this. And you know, if there's one difference between someone who makes $1 million a year and $200,000 a year, it's because the person making $200,000 has many more reasons not to than the $1 million income earner. $1 million person is going to say, I have to. I need to adapt. I need to be doing different things in order to meet the aspirations that I have. And I'm willing to try these out. I'm willing to test the waters. I'm willing to change my step. Because if I don't, that's the very means to breaching my survival. You see, your survival is predicated upon adaptability. If you're not willing to change, if you're not willing to change up what you're doing, then forget yourself. Because you're either going to become dispensable or obsolete. So you can continue doing what you're doing, but the most important piece is that you make a decision. So I'm going to ask you to make a decision on when you're going to hire that person. You may not be able to hire them today, but when are you going to? If you need a personal assistant, when are you going to have her be there or him? When are you going to see that happen? And then you can begin working towards it. Now, one last piece. How are you going to afford it? Well, you can't afford not to. We know this. But what would be something that would boost it? Well, I know that when you go home, when you worked for a company and you went home, you probably had something taken out of your paycheck. You didn't even see it. But in business, we don't pay our company first. In our personal life, we pay ourselves first. But in our business, we don't pay our company first. And if you don't pay your company first, that means that your expenses are going to be paid and little net profit is going to be paid last. What if you could pay profit as a first item of expense? Why not over the next 6 months choose a percentage that you want to take out of your business, you won't even see it, and put it into an account? Don't touch it. That's what the coaching's for, is I'm going to kick your butt if you get in there. And then you've got some growth capital organically. You don't have to borrow the money. You don't have to factor. You don't have to go after and finance this. You don't have to raise money. You could build your business organically by changing your cash flow habits. Then you have, let's say, 4 or 5, 10, 15, 20,000, 25 that you have set aside so that when you're ready to make that turn and you have decided to hire the employee, you are able to afford the warm-up rate. You're able to move them in, and you're able to do it comfortably, and you're able to do it with planning and preparation. So this was our show for today. This was all about winging it and becoming more structured and taking what you're currently doing, maneuvering it into a business systems environment. How to get started. You got to start somewhere. Start with the pour column. Take those activities, throw them into some role description, and put them into some paperwork. Decide on the day when you're going to get your support. Put together a future org chart if you want to, 6 months from today, a year from today. Start looking at the compensation you're going to be needing to pay. Right now, look at virtual assistants. Search online for virtual assistants. Most projects can be given. They have virtual assistants in India for $10 an hour. You can find virtual assistants everywhere you look. So it's not about lack of help. There's plenty of help. You're just not willing to do it. And at the truth, are you really willing to let it go? Do you really believe somebody can do it better than you? That's a myth. Maybe if you just do it, you'll just get it done quicker. You know why? Right, because you haven't done the things you need to do to equip the person to win. Because you're just too impatient. But you just keep doing them the same way you've always been doing them, is you've been doing it better. And nobody gets bigger, better, faster, stronger because you don't let them. It's disempowering. A lot to think about here on No Hype Allowed. Look forward to the next show. We'll leave it there. See you next time.
Overwhelmed? Can't get to anything you planned?
Has the thrill ride of too much gotten ahead of you?
Get back that confidence with the VIP Coach. No Hype Allowed.